Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 23rd of July. Top LAT commander neutralized in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. US launches airstrikes in aid of embattled Afghan forces. And Bangladesh imposes 14-day lockdown to stem coronavirus spread. And now for all the details. Security forces neutralized 2 terrorists, including a top commander of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit, in an overnight encounter in Sopore district of India's Jammu and Kashmir, police said on Friday. Meanwhile, in another incident, a drone carrying explosive material was shot down by police early on Friday near the de facto border with Pakistan in Akhnur area of Jammu and Kashmir.
2 terrorists, including a top commander of Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba terror outfit, were killed during an encounter in Sopore district of India's Jammu and Kashmir, police said on Friday. The encounter broke out during the intervening night of July 22 and 23 in Warpora area of Sopore, as cordon and search operations were initiated based on specific inputs. The Kashmir police confirmed that one of the terrorists had been identified as Fayaz War, who was involved in several terror attacks and killing of civilians and security forces personnel.
तो जब हम लोग इनकाउंटर वहाँ पर शुरुआत हुआ तो पहले काफ़ी फायरिंग हुआ और उसके बाद हम लोग ऑपरेशन को रोक दिए। जितने सिविलियन थे आसपास उसको वहाँ से विकेट कर दिया गया। फिर इनको अपील किया गया तो सरेंडर नहीं किया। उसके बाद फिर फायरिंग रिज्यूम हो गया और उसमें दोनों टेररिस्ट मारे गए।
Meanwhile, in another incident, a drone carrying around 5 kilograms of explosive material was shot down early on Friday by police near the de facto border with Pakistan in Akhnur area of Jammu and Kashmir. This comes after drones laden with explosives were used for an attack at the Indian Air Force station in Jammu last month, suspected to be a terror attack from across the border.
Torrential monsoon rains wreaked havoc across India's western Maharashtra state on Friday. Over 60 people were reportedly killed in multiple incidents of landslides, building collapses and accidents linked to heavy rainfall, while rescue and relief operations continued across the state on war footing.
At least 67 people were killed in the western Indian state of Maharashtra, authorities said on Friday, after torrential monsoon rains caused landslides and flooded low-lying areas, cutting off hundreds of villages. At least 36 people were killed in a landslide in Taliye village near Raigad district, while at least 4 people died in Mumbai after a building collapsed, and another 27 lost their lives in other parts of state due to landslides and accidents linked to the heavy rainfall, officials said. Rescue operations were underway at various places in Satara, Raigad and Ratnagiri district, as several dozen people were feared to have been trapped in landslides.
And we are also facing a lot of problems in a smooth movement of the troops because of the continuous rains. But despite that, the operation is still going on, and I am hopeful that in the next 24 hours, things will come under control.
In coastal districts, the Indian Navy and Army were deployed to help in rescue operations. Annual monsoon rains are important for India and its agriculture-based economy. However, a large portion of the country struggles with floods during this season, leading to several deaths and loss of property worth millions.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's COVID-19 cases tally on Friday crossed the grim milestone of 1 million after over 1,400 new infections were reported in the last 24 hours. The South Asian nation has been battling a 4th wave of the pandemic that hit earlier this month.
Pakistan reported 1,425 new cases of coronavirus in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of infections in the country to over 1 million on Friday, as it battles a 4th wave of the pandemic. The Ministry of National Health Services in a statement said the figure of total COVID-19 infections in Pakistan currently stands at 1,034,000, while deaths at 22,939. Medical officials have raised concerns over vaccine hesitancy and people ignoring precautionary measures during the ongoing Eid festivities amid an alarming surge in cases of the coronavirus Delta variant, especially in Sindh province. Health authorities have warned the Eid holiday and upcoming elections in Pakistan-administered Kashmir on July 25 could prove to be a super spreader events, as government and opposition are busy holding big public gatherings.
More on news from Pakistan. Residents across Pakistan are irked by the recent fuel price hike by the government amid inching inflation and have complained that now prices of all essential commodities will be simultaneously affected. The economic situation in Pakistan has been worrying since PM Imran Khan came into power in 2018.
Residents across Pakistan are facing immense difficulties due to the consistent increase in fuel prices by the government amid inching inflation. The Oil and Gas Regulatory Authority has increased the prices of petrol by Rs 5.40 per litre and diesel by Rs 2.54 per litre. Petrol is now available for Rs 118.58 per litre, while diesel for Rs 116.5. Locals in Karachi city expressed the soaring prices of most commodities have already left them in despair, and soon a direct impact of fuel price hike will be witnessed on prices of essential food items as they are transported via road.
गरीब जो ना वो गरीब हो गया, उसके पास कुछ भी नहीं है इस बार, सिवाय इमरान खान को बददुआएं देने के और कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास. मतलब महंगाई इतनी हो रही है और बेरोजगारी बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है, परेशान है लोग बहुत ज़्यादा. खान साहब से जो उम्मीद थी वो पूरी नहीं हो रही है.
गाड़ी वाले को इतना असर नहीं पड़ता क्योंकि उसने अगर 15 लाख की गाड़ी रखी हुई है तो वो 118 रुपये लीटर तेल भी डला लेगा. जिसने 70,000 की बाइक वो भी 2500 रुपये महाना पे ली हुई है, उसको 118 रुपये डलाना मुश्किल होगा. ये मसला है सिर्फ.
The economic situation in Pakistan has been worrying since PM Imran Khan came into power in 2018. While the government has failed to raise revenues, the country continues to take out loans to be able to cover repayments of past borrowing, ultimately making the citizens suffer.
In news from Afghanistan, the Pentagon has confirmed that the US carried out airstrikes across Afghanistan in the last several days as part of an effort to support the Afghan government forces in their fight against the Taliban. Pentagon spokesman John Kirby, in an off-camera press briefing, however, refused to provide details about the airstrikes. Meanwhile, Taliban has said that to reach peace deal, Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani must be removed.
The United States has carried out airstrikes to support Afghan government forces who have been under pressure from the Taliban as US-led foreign forces carry out the final stages of their withdrawal from the country. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby told reporters on Thursday the airstrikes were in support of Afghan security forces in recent days but did not provide details. Taliban spokesperson Zabihullah Mujahid said the strikes were on Wednesday night on the outskirts of the southern city of Kandahar. He condemned the airstrikes and called it violation of the Doha deal, referring to an agreement between the United States and the Taliban clearing the way for the withdrawal of US forces. Since US President Joe Biden's withdrawal decision, violence has risen sharply, with the Taliban launching major offensives, taking districts and important border crossings and encircling or closing in on several provincial capitals, including Kandahar. The US NATO withdrawal is more than 95% complete and due to be finalized by August 31st. Meanwhile, Taliban spokesman Suhail Shaheen, in an interview with the Associated Press, said they don't want to monopolize power, but insisted that there won't be peace in Afghanistan until there is a new negotiated government in Kabul and President Ashraf Ghani is removed. He called the talks a good beginning but said the government's repeated demands for a ceasefire while Ghani stayed in power were tantamount to demanding a Taliban surrender. Before any ceasefire, there must be an agreement on a new government acceptable to us and to other Afghans, he said.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh. The Bangladeshi government has reimposed countrywide strict lockdown from Friday after Eid al-Adha festival break in view of the increasing number of coronavirus cases in the country. The restrictions will continue till August 5 midnight unless extended further.
The Bangladesh government on Thursday announced the resumption of countrywide lockdown for 14 days from Friday, upping its guard against devastating Delta variant of COVID-19 and increasing number of COVID-19 cases. The lockdown will continue till August 5 midnight unless extended again. State Minister for Public Administration Farhad Hussain said offices, courts, garment factories and all other export-oriented industries, everything to be precise, will remain closed, and this lockdown will be stricter than the one imposed last time. According to the government order, the police, the paramilitary, Bangladesh Border Guard and the army will keep a strict vigil on the roads to ensure strict compliance of the lockdown. Bangladesh has so far reported 1,140,200 COVID-19 cases and 18,685 deaths. The total number of recovered patients in the country stands at 969,610. Bangladesh is currently going through the most devastating wave of infection after the number of coronavirus cases had begun to rise in April due to highly contagious Delta variant of the coronavirus. The situation improved slightly in May before worsening again.
Just one bite and those delectable Indian desserts suddenly become something you crave. In India's eastern Gaya city, giant version of cottage cheese sweet balls, Rasgulla, weighing 1 kilogram, has been drawing sweet-toothed Indians to a shop to witness and taste the oddly sweet.
Giant version of cottage cheese sweet balls, Rasgulla, weighing 1 kilogram, draws sweet-toothed Indians to a shop in Gaya city of India's eastern Bihar state. India's all-time favorite sweet, Rasgulla, is a soft, spongy ball made from cottage cheese dipped in sugar syrup. Sweet lovers queued up at the city's Panditji sweet shop, famous for its large-sized sweets, and tasted the mouth-watering Rasgullas.
दुकान का खासियत है कि बड़ा रसगुल्ला के लिए लोग यहाँ आते हैं। यहाँ जो है 2 किलो, 1 किलो, 250 ग्राम, 500 ग्राम का एक रसगुल्ला मिलता है और ऑर्डर पर जो है से और बड़ा भी मिलता है।
इसका जैसे टेस्ट भी अलग है थोड़ा, और मिठाई से अगर देखें तो साइज भी इसका अच्छा है, मतलब प्राइस के अकॉर्डिंग साइज भी अच्छा है, टेस्ट भी अच्छा है, वही इसी चलते लोग प्रीफर भी करते हैं, पुराना भी है।
Panditji's sweet shop was established in 1969 and sells over 30 varieties of sweets, including rasgullas weighing from 0.25 to 2 kilograms. There's no denying the fact that desserts give a befitting end to any meal.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Top LAT commander neutralized in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. US launches airstrikes in aid of embattled Afghan forces. And Bangladesh imposes 14-day lockdown to stem coronavirus spread. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.